Great to be here from West Covina. Have you heard of it? Yeah, it's about 30 miles east of Los Angeles proper. In the 70s, white people moved there to get away from Mexicans. And in the 80s, we followed them and started having babies with them, which goes to show you, if you try to get away from Mexicans, we will find you and start having babies with you. I dare you to go to the Covinas. Go on now. There's a bunch of halfers everywhere you look. They look white, but then the sun hits them. They get dusty looking, huh? Like the vampires on Twilight. My wife is white. It's my greatest shame. I turned my back on my people for a pink nipple. Can you believe that? I turned my back on my people. To be very fair, she's very loud. I thought she was at least Cuban. You know what I mean? I thought she spoke Spanish. Turns out she just loves Sublime. She was always asking me to caress her down. She will be my last white wife, though, I promise you this. I've had my eye on a few brown thickums in the neighborhood. You know what I'm talking about? Thinking about rejoining the fold like Moses, huh? Get my thick brown wife, you know, make a little fat brown baby, you know, raise him up to our people like Simba. Suavemente, you know, everyone's like, ah! That's cool. My wife, she quit her job the week she got pregnant. And our baby's turning 2 next month. And she doesn't even look like she's thinking about getting a job. If I would have married a Guatemalan, she would have been back in the fields a week later. The fucked up thing, and this is true, I told her very early on, listen, Julia, I'm not the kind of Mexican that gets off on providing for his family, okay? I'm an artist, all right? We're gonna go 50-50 on that rent, babe. My daughter's very white, beautiful and white. If you know any Mexican grandmas, that's what they pray for. My mom was just like, please make her white, you know, let her work inside, yes, please. And God answered her prayers. I like to think about my beautiful little white daughter walking down the street in 20 years, and, you know, a man approaches her and they get in a fight, and then he goes, shut the fuck up, you stupid white bitch. And then my daughter's gonna go, actually, I'm Latina. That's gonna be pretty sick. Got him in 20 years. She's 2, and she already has a roster. My daughter, I'm number 3 on her list. We live with my Uncle John, he's 2, and then my wife is, of course, number 1. The crib is in our room, and when she wakes up, she just starts screaming for my wife. She goes, Mama! Mama! Mama, 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 mama. And I'm just like laying there with my eyes open. And my wife, you know, she's like waking up, you know, so I'm just laying, and then you hear, it just gets quiet for a while, and then she goes, Dada! And I'm like, well. Someone forgot about Dada! She's at the age where she's learning words all the time, and I don't know that she knows certain words or what they mean or anything, so she's obsessed with Miss Rachel. We let her watch a half hour in the morning and a half hour in the afternoon, and this happened, I think, last week. She was watching, and I turned it off, and she starts crying. You know, she's like, just crying, and it's hilarious, because babies cry for dumb shit, and so you're kind of like laughing, but she's crying, and I'm looking at her eyes, she's crying, her teeth, and she's like, and then I didn't know she knew the word please, and so she just suddenly grabs my hands, and she goes, please. And I was like, all right, you little crackhead, we can watch another half hour? Please, Dada, please, a little more Miss Rachel. God, shit, fuck, okay. I'm a little older than some of you. I grew up in the 80s, you know. I was actually alive when Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, was murdering people. Yeah, does anyone know who the Night Stalker is? Who's from LA? Anyone from LA? Was anyone alive when the Night Stalker was killing people? You remember how scary it was, right? Yeah, I was terrified. I was 6, my brother Danny was 5. We lived in West Covina. He murdered someone in Diamond Bar. If you guys don't know who the Night Stalker was, Richard Ramirez, probably the dopest serial killer that ever lived. He would murder anyone. He'd rape whoever. Listen, there's not a lot of Latino representation on TV, so we have to get each other's backs whenever we can. You know, it's not, I don't like it. I don't think it's cool. Although, to be fair, in court, he did this to the judge. That's cool. I mean, who hasn't wanted to do that in court? Parking tickets? We're terrified. I'm 6, my brother Danny's 5. You can't sleep with the windows open. Everyone thinks the Night Stalker is going to murder them. We were terrified until we heard about the $100,000 reward to capture the Night Stalker. Then I look at my brother. He's 5, I'm 6. I'm like, let's catch this fool. You know what I mean? This really happened. We had a huge backyard. We went to one corner of the backyard. It was the summertime, and we just started digging a hole in the corner, you know, doing what 2 Mexicans do best, just digging a hole with a shovel, you know. Kool-Aid mustaches drying in the sun, you know. After a few days, we get a pit probably like about this big, you know, pretty good for a 5 and 6-year-old. And we cover that pit with leaves and branches and we cut a black trash bag and we put it over that. And we're like, if the Night Stalker jumps over that corner of our backyard, he's fucking toast, you know what I mean? We would run every morning. Like Christmas, we would run every morning, praying, hoping that the Night Stalker was in there like this, like, ow. Call the cops, Danny, we're going to Toys R Us. G.I. Joe aisle, you know? The 80s weren't all fun and games, though. If you grew up then, do you guys remember how violent dads were in the 80s? Dads were always, I think it was just cocaine. Dad were always punching people at the gas station, at the garage. They were punching each other at Little League games. Dads were so upset. I remember one time, we went to a WWF match, and we saw Ravishing Rick Rude versus Macho Man. That was the main event. Ravishing Rick Rude was the bad guy. If you don't know who he was a bad guy, and his thing was that he was sexy. He had a mustache, and he was fucking ripped. And before he did his move on, he would knock you down and then stand over you and go like this. Which really is, you know, that adds salt to the wound. You know what I mean? We were cheering for him, though. We were stupid little kids. It was me and Danny and my dad. And this white guy behind us said, "Shut the fuck up, you stupid beaners." And my dad just turned around and punched that guy as hard as he could, and the guy crumbled. And he said, "If you talk to my kids again, I'll beat the fucking shit out of you." And me and my brother were like, "Ah! Ah!" You know? Because at that point, we'd only seen him beat up my mom, and she's very little. Bad feet work on this lady. It was the 80s. Everybody was getting molested. All moms were getting beat up. That's just how it was. I'm sorry. The real effed up thing is my dad still hates my mom. They broke up 30 years ago. He abused her. He still hates her. We took him to see Elton John a couple of years ago. He played Dodger Stadium for like 2 weeks. I don't know if you guys remember that. And we took my dad to see, he still hates my mom. Elton John's playing a wonderful show. I'm sitting next to him. It's beautiful. Elton John's beautiful. He starts singing Rocket Man, you know. My dad's right next to me, and Elton John's like, "I miss my dog, I miss my wife." And my dad leans into me and goes, "Not me." And I was like, "That's my mom, you piece of shit! Leave her alone!" You guys have been great. I'm Steve Hernandez.